Watching a star player or your favorite player retire from the NFL isn't exactly easy to handle, especially if they're carrying your team. For football fans, few things are tougher to stomach than watching your favorite player call it quits. It's no different than fans of popular TV series such as The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Seinfeld, or Friends. Look, it's never easy to say goodbye to something that you love and that you spent years and years watching on television. But nothing lasts forever. Many of our favorite NFL players over the past decade opted to walk away from the game they loved this offseason, and we can only say one thing. Thanks for the memories. So with that said, here are the 10 most notable NFL players who retired in 2023. Tom Brady. Did you hear the news? Yeah, Tom Brady retired again in February. And he actually meant it this time, we think. Brady's initial retirement, announced on February 1st, 2022, lasted a total of 40 days. But so far, he hasn't walked back on the second retirement announcement, which fittingly took place on February 1st of this year. So we're gonna go ahead and assume that the 7-time Super Bowl champion is done for good. I mean, it's a little late now to unretire, sign with a new team, and learn their playbook in a matter of weeks. Brady didn't look like he was enjoying himself much at all in the 2022 Swan Song season, so retirement was probably for the best. So here it is, folks. For the first time since 1999, we enter an NFL season with no involvement of Brady whatsoever. The man, the myth, and the legend who rose to fame 22 years ago is done for good. Get used to it. It won't be long till Brady is back on our TVs on a regular basis, of course. He's expected to begin his contract with Fox Sports as an NFL analyst in the 2024 season. So we're only talking 1 year with no Tom Brady in football whatsoever. All good things have to come to an end eventually, and that includes the career of Mr. Brady. We won't forget the timeless memories he left us with, but it's time to enjoy the new generation of superstar quarterbacks now. So long, Tom Brady, the NFL quarterback. Enjoy the golden years. We'll try to get used to football without you. J.J. Watt. Watt turned back the clock and recorded 12.5 sacks, his most in a season since 2018, on a lowly Arizona Cardinals team in 2022. Watt proved that he had plenty left in the tank, but, he understandably retired after the season. Watt endured atrial fibrillation early in the season and needed to have his heart shocked back into rhythm. As well, this loyal family man wants to spend time with his wife and newborn son. The Surefire Hall of Fame inductee was unquestionably the NFL's best defensive player from 2012 to 2015, winning 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards while racking up a ridiculous 69 sacks during that span. Sadly, injuries derailed the back half of Watt's career from 2016 to 2021. These were his numbers of games played: 3, 5, 16, 8, 16, 7. A Hall of Famer, yes, but he feels like the NFL's equivalent of Ken Griffey Jr. What if injuries didn't slow him down and largely define the second half of his career? But the NFL is going to miss Watt for more than what he did on the field. He was the league's ultimate good guy. Purely impossible to hate. He was always going above and beyond to help children and families in need off the field. He helped fundraise over $37 million following the devastating effects of Hurricane Harvey. Honestly, the world needs more people like J.J. Watt. This man deserves the happiest and healthiest post-football life. At least we can still enjoy watching his younger brother TJ over in Steel City. A.J. Green. Watt isn't the only notable member from the legendary 2011 NFL draft class that also called it quits. A.J. Green, Watt's teammate of 2 years in Arizona, also went on his horse and rode off into the sunset. The 7-time Pro Bowler had a solid first year for the Redbirds in 2021, recording 54 receptions for 848 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the borderline Hall of Famer fell back to earth last season, tallying just 24 catches for 236 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hardly spectacular. So Green walks away with 727 career receptions, 10,514 yards, and 70 touchdowns. Pretty impressive considering that the Georgia product missed 9 games in 2018 and the entire 2019 season. Green hadn't been an elite receiver in a while, but he was a top 5 guy at the position during the first 5 years of his career. Like Watt, it's too bad Green never got to experience a deep playoff run. In fact, the latter didn't endure a single postseason win during his playing career. Injuries and age finally caught up to Green in 2022, but that doesn't take away all of his accomplishments and the fact that he was one of football's premier pass catchers from 2011 to 2017. Brett Kern. Kern was one of the NFL's most reliable and consistent punters from 2017 to 2021, so his release from the Tennessee Titans and subsequent early retirement both came as a bit of a surprise. An underrated part of the Titans' renaissance under Mike Vrabel, Kern was a three-time Pro Bowl punter who also earned first-team All-Pro nods during 2019, the year the club made a stunning run to the AFC Championship game. Kern was cut by the Titans in 2022 and spent the final weeks of the season with the Philadelphia Eagles after they lost Aaron Sipos to injury. He averaged 40.8 yards per punt in his 4 games with the Eagles. Kern walks away with a superb yards per punt average of 45.9. Not too bad. Russell Okung. The two-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle hadn't played since 2020, but he officially announced his retirement this past June. The number 6 selection of the 2010 NFL Draft was a mainstay on the Seattle Seahawks offensive line from 2010 to 2015, helping the club to a Super Bowl 48 championship in the 2013 season and to another big game appearance the following year. Okung spent 1 year with the Denver Broncos in 2016 before reviving his career with the Los Angeles Chargers, where he played from 2017 to 2019. In 2020, he was traded to the Carolina Panthers in exchange for Trey Turner. Injuries unfortunately limited Okung to 13 total game appearances over his last 2 seasons. He played in 7 games for Carolina in 2020 and went unsigned over the next 2 years before finally calling it quits. Blake Martinez. The standout linebacker was released by the New York Giants ahead of the 2022 campaign, and the Las Vegas Raiders wound up signing him mid-season. Martinez made 2 starts and appeared in 4 games for the Black and Silver, recording 20 combined tackles. Surprisingly, Martinez retired mid-season at the age of 28. Put simply, it's because Martinez had found tremendous success in the Pokemon trading card business. He announced his retirement after selling an extremely rare card for a whopping $672,000. Martinez has made several millions of dollars with his booming Pokemon card business. It's actually a super cool story, which brings us to our one final message for Martinez before we move on to the next entry. Gotta catch 'em all. Gerald McCoy. McCoy was one of football's elite defensive linemen during his tenure with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which spanned from 2010 to 2018. As a Buck, McCoy was a 6-time Pro Bowler who earned 1 first-team and a pair of second-team All-Pro selections. McCoy left the franchise with 54.5 sacks, which placed him 4th on the Bucs' career leaderboard. In a surprise move that ended up working out for them, the Bucs released McCoy in 2019 and replaced him with Ndamukong Suh. McCoy went on to sign with their NFC South foes, the Carolina Panthers. McCoy signed with the Dallas Cowboys in 2020, but he had to miss the entire year after suffering a ruptured quadriceps tendon. He played 1 game for the Raiders in 2021, but went unsigned for the 2022 season. McCoy proceeded to announce his retirement, walking away with 59.5 career sacks, 6 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, and 24 pass defenses. Dante Hightower. He didn't have eye-popping stats and certainly won't be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but Hightower was the MVP of the New England Patriots' second dynasty that won Super Bowls 49, 51, and 53. Hightower was everything Bill Belichick looked for in a player. Incredibly high football IQ, leadership, incredible athleticism, and so much more. Don't forget that it was Hightower who tackled Marshawn Lynch half a yard short of the end zone in Super Bowl 49, leading to Malcolm Butler's pick on the very next play. Don't forget a strip sack on Matt Ryan in